Hello, I'm Dan Cantor, Executive Director of Working Families. It's my privilege to serve in this position, and I hope you'll give me a minute to give a very brief report on 2012 and a look ahead at 2013. My children, my handlers, tell me that if I talk too long, no one will actually listen, so I shall keep it brief. 2012 can be summed up in three words: relief and gratitude and clarity. Relief that the American people were savvy enough to reject Mitt Romney. Had he won, we would be doing little besides playing defense against various and vicious right-wing schemes. With the president's re-election, there's a chance to put issues on the table, on jobs, on climate, on campaign finance, on infrastructure, that clearly need to be there. As for gratitude, here in New York, 241,000, almost a quarter of a million New Yorkers voted working families. This is far and away our highest total ever, and it is evidence that there is a real audience for common sense progressive ideas and candidates. We're grateful to each and every one of you who voted working families, and we're keen to convince those of you who did not to give us a look in the next round. Finally, clarity. 2012 made it clearer than ever that it is not enough to merely elect Democrats. Inequality continues to grow, and middle and working class living standards continue to erode. And while Democrats are almost always better than Republicans, they're not good enough. This, of course, is not a new problem. The whole point of working families, in New York and elsewhere, is to pull both major parties in a better direction. One of the most powerful ways to do that is to build a progressive farm team. I know men can't really communicate without sports metaphors, but I'm working on it. Anyway, in last year's end-of-the-year video, I talked about our plan to build that farm team. Then it was just an idea, but in 2012 we made it happen. Trainings in Syracuse, Albany, Hudson Valley, New York City, Long Island. These were quite rigorous sessions for potential candidates, campaign managers. A little more than 125 people took part. Community leaders, shop stewards, environmental activists, public school parent leaders, urban, suburban, and rural, white and black and Latino and Asian. And this was not pie-in-the-sky stuff. This was learning how to run a campaign as a progressive and run to win, from the art of the stump speech to the science of voter targeting. No one wants to say they're a politician, but these are the kind of people we need in office. They won't all run, of course, but they'll all be better activists and better leaders in their communities. One graduate of this candidate pipeline project, who we are especially proud of, is Cecilia Kachik, Cece, as she is called. She's a farmer, a school board member, a parent from Duanesburg, up in Ulster County. She went through our training, and we encouraged her to run for state senate. It was an intense race. She was up against a millionaire assemblyman in a district that had been drawn to elect a Republican conservative robot, not a Democrat working family stalwart. And then we and Cece did something very smart. We turned this race into a referendum, really, on the corrupting role of big money in politics. Everyone knows that money is degrading politics in America, but very few are willing to talk about it during elections for fear of turning off voters. CC and the WFP and our other allies were willing to do so, and voters responded. As I sit here at the end of December, the race is still too close to call, and will instead be decided by the courts. If they count all the votes, we'll win. If instead the courts decide this is Florida in the year 2000, we won't. Either way, it was worth doing. CC, of course, was just one of the people who went through that training in 2012, and there'll be more in 2013. Perhaps most exciting of all, groups in other states that have started organizing working families will be aiming to replicate this training program in each new state. This is the time to think big. The moment we find ourselves in demands it. If we are truly to fix our broken political system, end the grip of big money on politics, address the crises of inequality and unemployment and climate change, mass incarceration, declining wages, voter suppression, foreclosures, militarism, and so on and so forth, we have got to think big. So that's the WFP as 2012 draws to a close. Thinking big even as we start local. thinking long term even as we are ready for the fights immediately ahead. And of course, we can't do any of this without you. We are just about at the end of our year-end fundraiser, and we haven't reached our goal yet, so I'm asking for your help. If you think this is an important project, and if you believe we can make a difference together, please consider making an end-of-year contribution. $15, whatever you can do, will help. If you can, consider becoming a monthly sustainer, 10 or 15 or 20 bucks a month. 50 cents a day is $15 a month, and to my way of thinking, it's a smart investment. Whatever you can afford, we'll be grateful, and of course we'll make sure that we don't let you down. Happy New Year, and here's to a progressive and sustainable and prosperous 2013.